What's going on, fam? What's happening? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, man. Conservatives clout chase too. Black conservatives in particular, but um, Larry Elder is running for I think governor or something. And he's on this political run, and of course, one of the things that a lot of black conservatives like to do is they like to clout chase and get attention, and we in the black community constantly give them attention for saying the most outlandish things. You know, instead of just ignoring them. And I think as a group we're actually growing to ignore them because I think people just start to see like, oh, okay, this is a media promo scandal. And the thing about it is, what's going to wind up happening is, white people make a lot of black conservatives relevant because they're supposed to, because white people want these black conservatives to say things that get under black people's skin while simultaneously not saying anything about other groups, right? And you see black conservatives constantly feeding into this because it pays. So this is what they get paid for. Now, some people look say, well, some of these people actually believe this? Yeah, they actually believe it. Yeah, there's some of them that actually believe it. And there's some of them that know exactly what's going on. Like, this is for attention, which brings notoriety, which brings views, which brings money. It's a business transaction, right? But the thing about it is, it's fake, okay? So, take for instance, you say you don't want people having a victim mentality, and the government doesn't owe you anything if something happened to you, and you stop being a social justice warrior. You don't even hear conservatives, let alone black conservatives, say stuff like, okay, stop Asian hate. That's a victim mentality, and the government shouldn't be paying people, for that. You don't hear, conservatives say, okay, we're taking in Afghans and blah, and giving them money. They're victim. They have such a victim mentality, this, that, and the third. It's it 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 becomes a hypocrisy that keeps spinning on its own axis, and sometimes people just don't want to admit that Americans, particularly white Americans, have a perverted sense of reality, have a perverted sense of morals and ethics, and it just doesn't add up. And a lot of times people don't want to say, okay, they think it's just a racial issue. No, it's really a morality issue or ethics issue, a hypocrisy issue because it's just perverted. Like I was listening to a young lady, she wasn't a young lady, a grown woman, have a debate with a brother about terrorism, and he was like, as far as I know 9/11, since we celebrated 9/11, those people are terrorists. They killed a lot of people, but the people that raided the Capitol, they were terrorists too. It's like, now, granted, the casualties were nowhere near 9/11, but under the definition of terrorism, they did the same thing. But she couldn't bring herself to say, yeah, that's true under the definition of terrorism because they were white. They actually did it because they loved the country. And the guy asked a good question. He said, don't you think the people who did 9/11, don't you think they love their country or ideology? And then it just couldn't dawn on her. And this is the thing that conservatives do. That's clout chasing. And this is why I say, at some point you just got to ignore people because they only show up, especially black conservatives, when there's something black to talk about, right? But as you can see, there's less and less and less black issues to talk about, and they constantly ignore white issues. The what about Chicago gonna pop up? There's always gonna be a crime story in America in general. But like when they found, what is it, $1 billion worth of drugs, you didn't hear conservatives talking about that. And I'm a conservative, but I talked about it. Like, you're not gonna hear that when they had the $1 billion bust in California, because it was $2 billion bust. One in California, one on barges, on cargo ships. You didn't hear that. And that was in Florida, California and Florida. And you're not going to hear that. You know what I mean? You're not going to hear like the little two kids who planned a school shooting in Florida that just got arrested. You're not going to hear conservatives talk about that. You know, you're not. You're not. All of these Karen things, you're not going to hear conservatives talk about that because it doesn't fit the narrative. You know, they're just waiting on the black equivalent. And if there's really no black equivalent, they'll take the smallest thing and make it a black equivalent. And it's like, and this is all even using Larry Elder's picture in reference to, you know, something's going on. He's running for something. So instead of, you know, when they say other people need to talk about the policies and what they're going to do, a lot of times these black conservatives in particular, the policy is, I'm just letting you know that I'm going to screw over black people the way America has generally screwed over black people so you can be comfortable with me. And then that's like a rallying cry for, whites and non-blacks to come together like, yay. It's like, oh, okay, man, it's clout chasing. So to me, it's like, ignore it. But if you ignore it, it's only going to get bigger. No. What happens to the black friend in the room when black people aren't chilling with the black friend? You can't say you went back to the black community because after a while they're going to like, you don't even hang around black people. You're just talking. Part of this black conservative movement is the ability to dip back and forth between the black community and the non-black community and say, yeah, I visited because I'm black and I can tell you what's going on and now I'm gonna dispute this. But normally they ingratiate themselves in white society and then become irrelevant. So just let them do that. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. I'm done on this one. Catch you on the next one. Peace.